Well, hello there folks, how are you? It's Kenneth James Kerr once again, and thank you so much for joining me today right here in the video library. I do appreciate you being here today. Now today we're going to take a look at a vignette that you'll find on page 24 of the paperback of This Book is the Perfect Gift, and if you have the hardback, it's on page 30. So let me turn up page 30 since I'm using the hardback and read the quotation. Here's how it goes. If you don't know where your life is headed, maybe you should stop the boat for a little while and take time to plot your course. Let me say that again. If you don't know where your life is headed, maybe you should stop the boat for a little while and take time to plot your course. I want you to think for a moment about the picture, the image that the illustration brings to mind that's encapsulated within that quotation. Imagine that you're on a boat. In fact, tell you what, let's be a wee bit more grandiose than that. Let's imagine that you are on a cruise ship or an ocean liner. And somehow you get to meet the captain and you say, "Captain, where are we headed today?" Now imagine if the captain turned round to you and said, "Tell you the truth, mate, I don't have a blinking clue." Now, what would you say to that? Well, for some people, they might turn around and say, "Hey, that's cool. I like the spirit of adventure. I like that. Let's just do what Captain Kirk said on the Starship Enterprise. Let's just say, let's see what's out there." Now, yes, while there might be a certain degree of attraction towards that idea, a certain degree of allure, yeah, I get that, a certain degree of excitement, of adventurism, yeah, that's true. But the reality is that if a captain of a ship said to you, "I don't know where we're headed," more likely the response is going to be, "You've got to be kidding." Why? Well, imagine if you're set out there onto the ocean and you don't know where you're going and you're not watching the compass or navigating by the stars and you're just taking it all by the seat of your pants, then what's going to happen? Well, you might end up at land somewhere. Perhaps you'll end up in a port of call somewhere, or you might crash on the rocks. Or you might go round and round and round aimlessly until you run out of supplies and starve everybody on board, or you run out of fuel and you end up being adrift. Wouldn't it be much better if you said to the captain, "Where are we going today?" And the captain could say, "Well, today we're going here, and tomorrow it's here, and the next day it's here, and our ultimate destination is over here." You see, that makes much more sense. Because it's a journey. The very fact that that boat set out from harbour means that it is on a journey, and it just makes good sense to have some idea of what the destination is. Now, let me give you another illustration from the world of aviation for those who see the de Havilland chipmunks up there. First aircraft I flew in was a chippy, by the way. But I remember one time when I was taking pilot training, I remember getting to that point where the instructor said, "Okay, not only are you qualified now to do the solos in the circuit," which I'd been doing, it seemed like ad infinitum, but he said, "You're now qualified to fly solo out to the exercise area." And so I did. Out from Burlington, Ontario, in the Piper Warrior Oscar Charlie Hotel, and I went out to the exercise area. And instead of doing exercises, I just puttered around. And I discovered that I liked that. Hey, there's no one in the right seat. I'm on my own. I can basically do what I want. I mean, I didn't want to get too high in case I got into Toronto airspace, but nonetheless, I was enjoying the view and seeing what's going on beneath me and looking out towards the Niagara Escarpment and looking at Lake Ontario and all of this. It was wonderful. Somebody might say, yeah, but therefore you were aimless. Therefore you were just puttering around by your own admission. And you were enjoying that sense of adventure, that freedom of the skies. Well, yes, that's true. In a sense, it was a journey without a destination, in a sense. But I knew that there had to be a destination, and that was get back to Burlington and land before you run out of fuel and crash. And so very, very obviously, once again, although there was a certain degree of fun in just kind of puttering around, I knew there had to be a destination, because every single journey has a beginning and must have a destination. It can either be by design or it can be by accident. So now let's talk about life. See, life is a journey too. Just like that boat going out into the water, just like the aircraft going up into the skies, your life right now has a beginning. And of course, we know your life will have an end. Somebody says, well, wait a minute, I'm not so sure about that, because I believe in spirituality, and I believe that I'm an eternal spiritual being. And well, yes, I believe that too. Don't get me wrong, I believe that too. I believe there's an overarching, all-encompassing spiritual journey that we're on, but right now we can't see that. Right now what we can see, what you can see, is this life that you have right now as the person that you are today. And your life did have a beginning, and this life will have an end, and it is therefore a journey through space and time. The question is, what destinations have you set for yourself within that overall journey? You have set yourself some destinations, haven't you? Again, somebody says, well, I just believe in taking it a day at a time. Well, I know you've got to take it a day at a time. I'm not arguing with that. Yes, you do. But as you take it a day at a time, where is your life headed? What's the next goal? What's the next dream? What's the plan? What's the course? What's the direction? Again, somebody might say, well, I really don't have one. I mean, que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be. Well, that's great. And it's good for a while. But there's far more to life than that. And if you are wandering around aimlessly or have just a vague notion of what it is that you want, then don't be surprised if you look at your life one day and say, my life isn't getting anywhere. Maybe now you know why. So again, let's look at the quotation. If you don't know where your life is heading, maybe you should stop the boat for a little while and take time to plot your course. Today, I want to encourage you to stop the boat for a little while. Maybe you need to go out to your favorite coffee shop and just sit there with a sheet of paper in front of you and start writing. Or go out to a lake that's nearby, or just go up into your bedroom and shut the door and say, for the next hour, this time is mine. Nobody disturb me, please. Whatever it is. Stop the boat. Take time to plot your course. So let's say that I said to you today, okay, let's start right here. Go ahead and pull out your list of goals. Pull out your goals list. Pull out your dreams list. Now, some of you can do exactly that. Some of you know exactly where it is. Maybe it's on your phone as a note. Maybe it's in a journal. Maybe it's somewhere special that you can go reach it right now. But for many, many people, if you had to say to them, pull out your goals list today and review it, they would say, I don't have one. So don't be surprised if you don't have a list of goals, if you don't achieve anything. It's so important to have a sense of where you're going. It's so important to create and build for yourself destinations through this overall journey of life. Today I want to get there, then there, then there, then there. Because that can encompass the spirit of adventurism and flexibility while giving an overall sense of direction and purpose and plan to this experience that you and I call life. So today, I encourage you to stop the boat and plot your course. So what do you have to do? Well, get a sheet of paper and start writing. Ask yourself some very, very important questions, like this one here. What do I want out of life? That's an excellent question, isn't it? You know what? The younger that you can be when you ask that question, the better it is. So no matter what stage of life you're at right now, if you're like me, a pensioner, or if you're halfway through your career, or if you're just starting out, or even if you're still at school, you may want to ask that question right now. What do I want? What do I really want out of the rest of my life? So very, 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 very important. What do I want? What do I want to do? Where do I want to go? What do I want to be? What do I want to achieve? What do I want to become? What do I want to have? What do I want to attain? These questions are so vitally, vitally important in life. It's important to say things like, what is it that would really give me a sense of purpose? What is it that would excite me? What is it that would inspire me? What is it that would challenge me to become more than I am now? What is it that would really give me a buzz in life? That would absolutely fill my life with meaning and a sense of achievement. It's so important that we do this, because when you start to do that, you start to say, I want to do this and this and this. This is where I will go. This is what I will do. This is what I will achieve. This is what I will become. And along the way, you begin to set those waypoints. Well, in order to get to there, I need to go through this one and this one and this one. So let's start here. And let's move this way, and let's move this way, and let's move this way, and let's move into the rest of my life with a sense of where I'm heading. All of a sudden, the boat of your life has a harbour that you're going towards. It may not be the ultimate harbour, but it's a port of call along the way. And everything can fall into place now, because you know you've got a sense of purpose and direction, and then along the way you continue to enjoy the flexibility of the journey, the adventurism of the journey, the spontaneity of the journey. But at least you're on a journey that has a sense of direction. And so I encourage you today to catch a glimpse of a future that only you can see. Say somebody looks at your life today, they don't know if you don't tell them what you see for yourself in your future. Maybe it's large, maybe it's small, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. Don't go down that route if it's bad. You're better than that. You can do more than that. You can imagine more than that. Because ultimately, when you look to your future and begin to ask where you're heading and begin to create a sense of direction and purpose, it's all imagination. So imagine that which inspires you. Imagine that which encourages you. Imagine that which drives you or draws you or pulls you and makes you more of what you are now. It is so important. Why is it important to create that vision? Well, there's magic in the vision. Absolute magic happens when you begin to create for yourself a sense of direction. Magic happens. Inspiration happens. Hope happens. Excitement happens. And along with all of that, as we just said, suddenly there is a sense of direction. If you know where your life is headed, you can set the heading on the compass of your life. If you don't know where your life is heading, you're just going to go around in circles. There's a very, very famous and beautifully insightful phrase that I believe was written by Henry David Thoreau. I think I've got his name right. He said something like this: if one will advance confidently in the direction of their dreams and endeavor to live the life that he himself has imagined, they will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. Now, I don't think that's exactly what the man said, but it's the gist of what the man said. You think about it. Do you want success? If you want success, then you've got to advance confidently in the direction of your dreams. But if you don't know where you're headed, if you don't have the dream to begin with, you can't move confidently in that direction, and therefore you will not meet success. So therefore, again, I encourage you today, if you don't know where your life is headed, stop the boat for a little while and plot your course, because once you know the destination, you can plot the course, you can move confidently in that direction, and success, by whatever metric you wish to employ, will be yours. I hope this video has been useful to you today, and again I encourage you, grab yourself a sheet of paper and start to plot your course. This is Kenneth James Kerr, and I will see you in the next video.